The Klaus Schwab is a name synonymous with global power. As the founder and longtime leader of the World Economic Forum, he has shaped conversations about the future for over 5 decades. The annual gathering in Davos, Switzerland, has become a pilgrimage site for the world's elite. Politicians, CEOs and celebrities flock to the Swiss Alps each year. They come to discuss everything from climate change to the global economy. Schwab's vision for the WEF has always been ambitious. He sees a world where businesses and governments work together to solve pressing global challenges. This belief in collaboration, often referred to as stakeholder capitalism, has been at the heart of the WEF's mission. It has also been the source of much debate and controversy. Critics argue that the WEF's focus on stakeholder capitalism gives too much power to corporations. They worry that it undermines democratic processes. These concerns have only grown louder in recent years. The WEF's push for a great reset in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic has fueled accusations of a globalist agenda. The WEF has become a lightning rod for anxieties about globalization and its discontent. Schwab's departure, announced in April 2025, marks a turning point for the organization. It remains to be seen what the future holds for the WEF. One thing is certain, the world is watching. The news of Klaus Schwab's impending departure from the World Economic Forum sent shockwaves through the corridors of global power. After more than 50 years at the helm, Schwab's exit marks the end of an era. It also raises profound questions about the future direction of the organization he built. Schwab's decision to step down comes at a time of growing scrutiny for the WEF. The organization has faced increasing criticism for its perceived elitism and lack of transparency. The COVID-19 pandemic and the WEF's subsequent calls for a great reset only intensified these concerns. Some see Schwab's departure as an opportunity for the WEF to reinvent itself. They argue that the organization needs to do more to address the concerns of ordinary people. They call for a more inclusive and democratic approach to global governance. Others, however, are skeptical that any real change is possible. They view the WEF as being too deeply entrenched in its ways. Only time will tell what the post-Schwab era holds for the World Economic Forum. Will the organization be able to adapt to a changing world, or will it remain beholden to the interests of the global elite? The answers to these questions will have far-reaching consequences for the future of global governance. Few initiatives have generated as much controversy as the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. Launched in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the initiative calls for a fundamental rethinking of global systems and structures. Its proponents argue that the pandemic exposed the fragility of the existing order. They see an opportunity to build back better, creating a more sustainable, equitable and resilient world. Critics, however, view the Great Reset with deep suspicion. They see it as a thinly veiled attempt to consolidate power in the hands of a global elite. They point to the WEF's close ties to multinational corporations and powerful governments. They fear that the Great Reset will lead to a loss of individual liberties and a further erosion of national sovereignty. The Great Reset has become a focal point for anxieties about the future. It has fueled conspiracy theories and stoked fears of a new world order. While the WEF insists that the Great Reset is simply a call for collaboration and innovation, its critics remain unconvinced. The debate over the Great Reset reflects a deeper ideological divide. On one side are those who believe in the power of global cooperation to solve shared problems. On the other are those who fear that globalization is a threat to individual freedom and national identity. This divide is unlikely to be bridged anytime soon. The World Economic Forum is facing a crisis of legitimacy. The organization's close ties to the global elite, its opaque decision-making processes, and its controversial initiatives like the Great Reset have eroded public trust. Calls for greater accountability and transparency are growing louder. Critics argue that the WEF operates in a bubble, insulated from the concerns of ordinary people. They point to the fact that the organization's annual meeting in Davos is a gathering of the world's wealthiest and most powerful individuals. They question whether such an elite group can truly represent the interests of the vast majority of humanity. The WEF has made some attempts to address these concerns. It has launched initiatives to engage with civil society and has pledged to increase transparency. However, many remain skeptical. They argue that these efforts are mere window dressing, designed to deflect criticism without addressing the underlying problems. The future of the World Economic Forum hinges on its ability to regain public trust. The organization must demonstrate that it is committed to serving the interests of all people, not just the privileged few. It must embrace transparency and accountability. Failure to do so will only further erode its legitimacy and undermine its ability to shape the global agenda.